Hello, Fallen Dragonite here. I have not been doing a whole lot recently in these review videos. Let's face it, it's been kind of a rough start of the year, hasn't it, for all of us? I managed to do game streaming, but now I am finally getting back to toy reviews. And we will be taking a look at the Vintage Collection Headmaster Mindwipe. Now then, have the figure here, but we will first take a look at the packaging. Of course, this is a Walmart exclusive. Just to get that out of the way, you can only get these at Walmart, just like all the other vintage Headmasters. And that is definitely the original G1 packaging recreated. And of course, turn to the back. Shows all the Headmasters from G1. Well, the ones from this wave anyway. The stat card and tech specs as usual. Of course, the side also has that artwork as well, and the transformation on top, just like the original vintage box. It doesn't have the hole for the peg, but again, nice display piece. I'll be keeping the box. I also want to point out the instructions. Yes, they also made the instructions very vintage as well. I actually do remember when I had Transformers as a kid that this is kind of what the original G1 instructions would look like. It even has the original vintage Hasbro logo. So let's get on with Mindwipe. I have been holding on to this guy for a while. I've been meaning to get to reviewing him, but again, it's been kind of hard to get around to actually reviewing stuff, and I have a lot of stuff that I really should be reviewing right about now, especially Kingdom stuff, because I have a few Kingdom things that I should review, and Wave 2 is already out, so enough with my rambling. You can already tell that Mindwipe here, this is, of course, the Titans Return figure, but the colorization and the paint apps are based on the original G1 toy, which was, of course, not show accurate. The Titans Return version was show accurate. This is more of the original G1 toy. Albeit, it doesn't transform the same way. It doesn't look exactly the same. The molding is more supposed to be a modern take on it. But they still did all the original G1 paint apps with the, I believe, maroon wings. The purple claws are picked out in paint. Maroon for the head, red for the eyes. Of course, we have a silver Decepticon symbol, black for the feet. And of course, can't forget a little Headmaster gimmick, which just plugs in right in here. It's kind of hard to get him out on camera. Yeah, if I'm off camera, it's a lot easier for me to get him out. So, yeah, he has that little storage compartment in his chest. Of course, he also has these wings on his back. This is actually more for robot mode, but I'll get more into that a little later. So let's take a look at Vorath. And his hips are a little loose. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just the reuse of the mold kicking in, and it's now just starting to wear down. Ball joints are also a little loose, but they have enough of a grip. Knees bend like they're supposed to. They also bend the opposite way as well. Head's also in a ball joint. Take a look at his back later. And of course, Mindwipe does have some articulation in his wings, but that's more for transformation than anything. Can't really move his legs because they're actually pegged right into the wings. This section kind of moves, but it's not supposed to. Well, put that off to the side. His jaw also is articulated. And that's about it for the bat mode. Of course, we have this section here. We'll just hold this up. No, we'll just leave it like that. Just unplug this. Plug it into this hole right here. Flip out. Oh wait. Need to flip these out first. Plug that in. And Vorath can just sit in there. Just like all the other Titans, Titan weapons, the Titan's Return weapons for the Headmasters, all transformed into like a little sled or something. It wasn't really that well done, but in this one I believe this actually worked better. So let's actually transform Mindwipe. First we take the head and move it in like that. We untab the bat wings from the feet in the back. Hold them down like so. Rotate. And of course we fold in the legs. There's a tab here, and this is a soft plastic. A tab there, a slot there that we just plug in that section right there. Fold down the feet. Yeah, I really do like how the wings fold like this into his robot mode feet. And of course we take these sections here and just rotate them around. Yeah, the original G1 figure, the wings just went on his back. So this is just a way to recreate his original G1 look by just having extra wings. We, of course, fold these out, and these are actually pretty tight. I'm actually quite pleased with how tight they are. And of course, we fold out the fists, and they just click into place. Do the same on the other side, and I'll talk about that when we get to it. And there we have his robot mode. And of course, if you've had a Titan Master before, just fold them up, and there's the head. And it's kind of hard to get my camera doesn't have a focus at all, so it's kind of blurry, but this is actually the original G1 face from the toy, not the cartoon. The Titan's Return version would have the more cartoon and IDW accurate face, whereas this is straight up the original toy. And of course, just like before, he plugs in like so. And that ball joint for the head becomes the ball joint for his neck. He has ball jointed shoulders, bicep rotation. The ball joint here feels a little loose. Again, I believe that's just the mold degradation. Has double jointed elbows due to transformation. No wrist articulation whatsoever. Of course, this is actually supposed to plug in, but no, it does plug in. It's just that this section's a little loose. His hips are universal. Nice knee bend, thigh swivel. Forward and back rock for the knee, for the ankle, but that's about it. So, oh yeah, and waist swivel. Yeah, you can kind of see his head is a bit loose on that end. So we're going to try this. It's a little bit more solid. No, it's not. Yeah, I also believe this is probably also due to the mold degradation, that loose ball joint. Shouldn't take much to fix that, though. And of course, put his pistol in. And of course, this section becomes like a claw with two guns on the end. Nice articulated figure, if I do say so myself. Not perfect. Compared to some of the more recent releases, he's not as articulated, but this was a figure I actually wanted to get my hands on for quite some time when he was out for Titan's Return. especially considering that you can combine it with Titan's Return Ape Face, which I don't have the vehicle for him right now. I have it somewhere else, somewhere I'm not going to be digging out for, but I did pull out the Headmaster. And of course, that was the whole gimmick with Titan's Return, is that you had a bunch of alternate heads you can put on. And of course, the ape face head works nice. And of course, the ball joint on that's a lot more solid, which of course brings up to the credence of mold degradation on the joints on Mindwipe. Okay, gotta get that head in place like it's supposed to. Anyway, that's all I have to say about Mindwipe. If you missed out on the Titan's Return version, this is pretty much the only other way you're going to get it without paying the ridiculous eBay prices. The G1 styling actually works quite well, although your mileage may vary, because if you have the original, it's kind of hard to justify buying another unless you just like the G1 styling. But again, this is basically my second chance to get the figure, and this may be the second chance for you to get the figure too, as well as many of the other Headmasters are also being re-released in this line with all their G1 styling, like I believe I'm trying to remember the first wave, but it's kind of hard to remember all their names. Anyway, that's my review, and I hope to see you guys again next video.